Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the afternoon sessions of the first day of EGX Rezzed 2019. Thank you so much for all coming here. We've got a super presentation lined up for you. We've got Stefan and Basti from Ubisoft who are going to take you through Anno 1800. Before then, though, we've got a little trailer to show you. So here you go.
As I set forth on this journey, I am driven by a single vision: to break through new frontiers. Led by the spirit of adventure, I let my ambitions soar. You can see it in every machine, trade route, and metropolis. We have taken the road of progress, reaching distant lands, establishing new settlements, expanding an empire. We are made to do more. Standing on the edge of a new era, only our visions got us here.
So, hi guys, thanks for having us. My name is Bastian Thun, I'm the community developer for Anno 1800. And today with me also Stefan from Ubisoft Blue Byte. And we are here to bring you the Industrial Revolution. Before we start, we have a lot of gameplay for you guys. Can I mention that the Tobacco Dog location here for the EGX Rezzed is oddly fitting for Anno 1800 and absolutely perfect. So yeah. Many of you might have heard about Anno 1800, and we decided to just show you some advanced gameplay today. But for the first couple of minutes, we want to introduce you to our city, which is currently the city of Naval. But I think, Stefan, we can change that, right?
Oh, yeah.
To something maybe more fitting.
You're asking for the cutlass.
And we take care of you later. Yeah, okay, this is fitting, right? So, City of London. Not exactly the biggest version of London yet, so what you see here is an actual save game which we built. This is not like pre-built or whatever. This is an actual save game, how you can play the game, progress, etc. And we will use that to demonstrate a few game features to you. So first things first, what is Anno? So Anno is a city-building game set in the 19th century. And what you can see here is like the classic traditional Anno feeling. You start with a harbor, and then in a classic rags to riches story, you build your empire out of nothing, basically. And what you can see is a few production buildings, farmers, pig production is going on, and yeah, also like a few advanced working buildings. So something which is special in Anno 1800 is that you have different workforces. So you start with the first residential tiers with the farmers, and I think, Stefan, we have also like a whole like farming village on that island, right?
Oh yeah, we should.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check.
I think it was like a little bit more over there. Oh yeah, oh there's something going on. So you have different kinds of workforces, which means no matter how you advance your city, how progressive modern they become, you will still need farmers working on your island, you will need workers working in your steel factories, and so on. But as you can see right now, the rise of the working class, the change of the social conditions in the 19th century is something which is really important for us in Anno 1800. And as you can see right now, there's a proper strike going on. People seem not to be too happy. They're on the streets rioting. Yes, I see some propaganda banners on the... Oh, what is going on? Okay, this might get out of control soon. So in Anno 1800, you can decide for your own. Like if you will be a robber baron, letting your people work overtime in hard shifts, not taking care of their happiness, or if you're a real man of the people, progressive, helping the new working class and social structure to arise. But right now, I think we have to take care of that.
And I wonder why they are rioting, right?
Like, if that is going on, they might start burning some buildings. Don't have like a police or something?
Yeah, let's do that.
Can we send some coppers over there to take care of that situation? Yeah, they will show them, right? Okay, they will take a few seconds until the police is ready, and then I'm sure the coppers will take care of that riot. And yeah, there are certain things you can do. So first and foremost, you can find out why are they unhappy. Are we like providing them, do they have access to a pub or to a theater or something? They're currently super unhappy. So there are also working conditions you can change. Maybe you cannot only force them to work more in the factories, you can also reduce the working conditions, say work less, and maybe that will make them happy. Click on happiness, Stefan. To the happiness needs, just in the info tab. Okay, they can see, so they don't have a church, as an example. I mean, there's still a God-fearing people by that time in the 19th century. Building a church could help. Giving them beer, like I fear that providing alcohol to your residents always helps, from experience. Are you actually giving them a church now?
Yeah, I will do that.
So you're a nice person. You say, like, you give them what they want. I would say we just let the police handle this.
I think we will need them anyway, so let's check. Oh,
police is in action. So if you now zoom in, oh yes, there you can see the police car. So it's driving now through the streets. We'll head to the riot, rallying up the 5. I mean, it's not very helpful. We have like hundreds of people rioting in the streets and they're stopping by. It's like, oh, there are 5 people, I take care of that. So just a small glimpse of what to expect. The riot feature is rather complex, different kind of like residential people can riot. You can have like even a general strike, they can start burning buildings, etc. And there are various ways how to deal with that. But yeah, we let the riot going on for a small while. And how about we show a little bit how production works in that game? Because now our workers should clearly go back to work. And yeah, here you see another thing, because if you like city building, beauty building, etc., Anno is also an economy game, where you build huge and complex production chains. And you can see here, that's proper 19th century style. I love that. I'm from an area which is like very working class in Germany. For me, that's rather romantic, but maybe not for everyone. Pollution will play a role, by the way, in that game. And here's our steel and weapon factory, and everything is going on here. And there's a lot of visual feedback. So in general, we love to put as much detail as possible into every single building. There are micro stories you can experience, so there's a lot of stuff going on. So, and we have, that's not only the only island we have, right?
No, it's not. Let's check.
So over the course of the game, you will explore, you will expand, you will settle on new islands, you will even settle to the new world, South America, so to speak. But here's a very small production island we currently have. I think we're just like generating, what are we doing there? Yes, just some hunting cabins. So if we want to now outsource a lot of our production on that island, we need workforce. And as you can currently see, we are a little bit low on people. So there are two solutions for that. First thing, we could obviously get some residential buildings going, put people on that city, but then we have to provide for all that stuff. They need a tavern, a marketplace, etc., etc. So, but what we also can do, especially when your safe game is advanced, if you reach residential tier 4, is we can build a computer harbor and just ship our workforce from our main metropolis over to our production island. Yeah, just build that, perfect. So what will happen now is we will share, and you will see that in a second, the global workforce of our main island with that small production island. You will have even like visual feedback, ships driving to the different island. I also like that looks a little bit like the tobacco dog, to be honest. That's quite fitting. So that's a great new feature because many of you guys ask us for that. How does it actually work with the workforce commute? But keep one thing in mind. If you rely on computer harbor only, right? If you say I have this one big main island and all my production is on different islands, maybe I have not even like factories on my main island, in a state of war, if I am at war with the other AI, this is a very high valuable tactical target. Because if you attack a harbor, imagine just like there's a fleet approaching, they just shoot a few torpedoes, target especially, specifically the computer harbor. Then this means on this island, especially if we create a lot of production buildings, everything we're going to halt. So there's basically one building you can attack to ruin the whole production lines of one building. And that is one thing, especially in late game, you have a lot of like different buildings which have like a specific goal, which makes them very easy target during a war state. But we're talking maybe about that war thing a little bit later because we want to show you something. Maybe we want to have like a brief look into the new world.
Yeah.
Very brief, right? So many of you guys might have seen that already. We have not only the old world, which is a little bit like Europe, so to speak. We are not historically accurate. We have also the new world. We have a rather small settlement here. But there's still a lot of going on. So what you can see, the whole biome is different. It looks not only the actual islands, the water, everything. We aren't actually that far that every single building you see here, from the residential buildings, looks completely different. We have new production lines. There's a lot of stuff going on. So that is super interesting. There's a different AI pirate character in South America and some other stuff you can explore. So that's great. As soon as you expand it greatly in Europe, you can just head over the world and build your new settlements in the new world, which will also, by the way, play a big role in the campaign of the game, because Anno 1800 has a 4-chapter-long, really tense, dramatic campaign where, among other things, you will fight for the freedom of South America. Right, but here, everything seems all right. There are no strikes, everyone seems to be happy, so I think we can take care of the old world again. Because after the computer harbor, we also want to show you what it means when we say the second industrial revolution. So as soon as you reach the working tier, you start building factories, it's all nice. But as soon as you hit the engineers, the 4th out of 5 residential tiers, you get access to electricity. And today, we want to show you how electricity works, how it looks like, and how it plays a role in the overall gameplay elements of the game. So, yeah, just check the production chain, exactly. So what you see right here is the whole production chain to get electricity in your town. That doesn't look too complex right now, but there's a gist to it, and we will find it out soon. So the first thing we need is oil, right?
Yes.
So we need to get some natural resources. We are quite lucky here, because usually on your main starting island, there's not always the case that you find oil there. Maybe you have even to send tankers over to the new world, to South America, to get oil from there. But for demonstration purpose, it's an easy game mode. We have oil on our main island. So we start with the oil refinery. Perfect. And now we tap into the oil depots of that island. Oh, Bente, come on. I love you, Bente, but she's really against pollution, all this kind of stuff. Every AI character in the world of Anno, by the way, they also build cities, they trade, and they follow the same game rules. They have to produce resources, expand the city as a player does, and they have all their unique, distinctive character. Bente, as an example, loves beautiful things, she has a problem with war, she does not like pollution, etc., and that really plays a role when you engage with them in diplomacy. So, yeah, we have oil now, right?
Not too many changes, I hope.
So what's next, Stefan?
I think it looks like we need some tracks here, right?
We need some tracks here, yeah? You see some train tracks. So we should have... Do we have an oil harbor yet? I think...
Yes,
I think
we do.
Right? So we prepared a few things. It's a city building game. It's a short presentation, and you can imagine you can sink dozens of, almost hundreds of hours in the safe game like this. So we had to speed things up a little bit. What you can see here is the oil harbor. This will make sure that the oil is actually stored on your island. And there's another thing. I talked about valuable targets during war. So if you like to engage in naval warfare and get angry with your neighbors if they're coming back and ruin your oil harbor, this will also mean that all your oil is gone. So there's also something to keep in mind. But when reaching residential tier 4, I think that music means that the strike, the riot, is still going on. We leave it be for a second. Our city will survive that, right?
I think so.
That sounds like a proper civil uprising.
It's getting...
Come on, could be worse, right? Nah, come on.
We can be the most fabulous friends.
Okay, Bente, that's fine. Maybe she means the strike. So as soon as you reach tier 4, you get access to electricity. What that means is you have to build train tracks around your city, connect them to your oil resource, and make sure that the oil later on to the power plant gets into your city. So the thing is, you can imagine that is a fairly small city for an advanced safe game, especially you have here like maybe 100,000 people in your city, and the whole city is built. And then you have to connect train tracks. That means you have to rearrange a lot of things. So in late game, optimizing your city, maybe puzzling around, making sure that you have space for that, that will make a big part of the late game experience. So it's not that impressive right now, or small train, especially you don't see any wagons or something like this. So the wagon, the train will actually transport the oil physically back to the oil harbor. So we'll go in there, then it takes a few moments. And then you will see different oil wagons connected to the train, and the amount of wagons is actually representative for the amount of oil it will carry. So it's an actual physical good transported physically through the game world. But that is not enough. Oh, there we go. It's 2, it's not too much for the moment, but we just started to get the oil out of our island. So, but now we want electricity, right? And I think it makes sense to support our production buildings here, or factories with electricity. That should spice things up quite a lot. Yeah, we take care of Bente later. Inviting her to a dinner party or something, that should work. Okay, so now, yeah, you need to find, like, maybe to the left, Stefan?
Maybe here?
Maybe up there. Yeah, because on the other side of the refinery, you can just get another train track going. Yeah, perfect. So now we will enter the second industrial revolution and connect our production district to a power plant. And in a second, you will see what that actually means, and I will explain to you guys what's the benefit of electricity.
I think we need some workforce, actually, before we do that.
Yeah, they're very talkative right now, our guys, right? Are you checking the right again? I need some engineers. You have enough, right?
No, there was some missing. Riot is still going on. Okay.
You're still concerned about the riot? Let's go back to the power plant. I'm a robber baron, I don't care about them. So, we need to wait until the oil arrives, right?
Yeah, but you can already see that something has changed.
So, what you can see here are electrical poles. So, as soon as you connect a district to electricity, that will actually change the visual feedback. You will see electrical poles like here, changing the cityscape significantly. Also, maybe we can see the first ones. You're used to horse carts, right? There's still horse carts going on. As soon as we have oil and the electricity, the power plant starts working. Now it should start working. We see a few sparkles and stuff. Yeah. It's a chill-out game. Everything takes a little bit longer in Anno. So as soon as the power plant starts working, you will see that visual feedback in the streets changes. So from the old horse carts of old generations, now you see steam carts driving through the streets, which are way more effective than horse carts. So this is another indicator which shows you your city and your society is progressing. And if you check one of the factories, Stefan. Yeah, what you also see here, the UI changed quite significantly. What now happens, click through a few buildings and see. Yeah, here you can see it, in the sewing machine factory. The production went from 100 to 170, almost 120, 190 and more up. So as soon as you connect your production buildings to electricity, this will boost up the production quite significantly. And especially in late game, if you want to create your super empire, optimize everything, this is a must-have. You can also connect your residents to electricity, especially engineers and investors. The late game tiers will have this as a requirement. Say, like, we want electricity because we are modern, progressive people. I think there's a fire going on.
Have you seen it?
I don't care about that riot of fire. You know what? But fire is a good keyword.
Oh yeah, that's true.
To be honest, I think that's the first, like we never blew something up in a live stream. Have we actually? I think not even in the game dev streams. Like we had one military game dev stream, but how about like blowing something up? Because there's another thing, if you like warfare, we want to show you something. So we prepared a few modern battleships. So in the era of the Industrial Revolution, we brought you some steamships, and we decided, you know what, when we had EGX Rezzed, we blow up some stuff. And this is not a normal battleship. That thing looks quite nasty, right? This is also a teaser, because this is a unique special ship you can get in-game. But the relation to that ship and the campaign and the story and where this ship is coming from and why does it look so weird, that is something you have to figure out for yourself when the game comes out. But check the ships. I think they have even like some items loaded, right? Yeah. So what you can see here, you have not only classic RTS unit naval warfare, you have also items. We have a lot of items in the game. And you can customize your ships, as an example here with torpedoes and incendiary grenades. And I think we have even, like on the other ship, a captain? Is it on one of the battle cruisers, or is it one of the... No, I think it's the other ship.
Oh, yeah.
So here you can see there's a captain equipped, and the captain, as an example, will buff the ship significantly because it's an epic character. It will receive 20% less damage from ships. It has an active healing buff, and the other guy increases movement speed and self-repair. So there are a lot of items in game. If you really are into that kind of stuff, you can customize your fleet actually a lot. Do we want to see our kick-ass fleet in action?
We can try.
Are you a good RTS player, Stefan?
We will see.
So various ships have different angles. Like we have heavy HP ships. Some of them are really, really fast. We have even like sailing ships, which can make advantage of wind. But they have all like different angles. Like the battle cruiser, as an example, is a long-range sniper. We have ships you can shoot in 360 degrees direction. Some only dead ahead, or only to starboard, and so that makes like a very, very tactic element of the naval combat. But you know what? Beryl O'Mara, by the way, this nice-looking old lady is actually a real mafia lady. Like, be careful with her. She's not as nice as she looks. But she's so close, you know what? I think we declare war and just try to bomb her harbor, right?
Give it a try.
I mean, what can happen with our fleet? Also, in the close beta, I fear that the enemy eye and harbor defense is too weak.
The last one swimming with the fishes.
Oh, there's immediately fire going on. Okay. The one monitor is just rushing. Yeah, I think we should send our monitors into action. They can eat the damage. And then we need to maybe take care of the harbor defense. So you can see here various harbor defense guns. At the moment, I think they have puckle guns, which apply a debuff to our ships, make them slower. They don't have a big Betty right now, Stefan, do they?
No,
I hope
it's
not.
here.
She hasn't built a big Betty yet.
But she has a
Okay.
repair crane, so...
Oh, I think we need to get rid of the repair crane. Maybe you can use a torpedo for that. Because our monitor's getting wrecked right now. And see the special ships in action. As I told you guys, you have to find out on your own what's the matter behind these red ships with fiery rockets. Yeah, get rid of that as fast as possible. Okay, our monitor's eating a lot of damage. I think the repair crane is soon to be done. That is really good. Boom. Okay, the grenades worked really in our favor.
But we lost many ships, actually. And there are even more coming.
Yeah, maybe are there still monitors left? Where are the other battle cruisers? Maybe they can take care and snipe the frigate. By the way, moving, micromanaging your fleet during battle can make quite a difference and turn the odds of war. I mean, right now, let's say I blame Stefan for the situation with the gamepad, with the mousepad, etc. It's not that easy. Joke aside, So yeah, we ate some damage. I think we lost all our monitor ships, right?
Except
That
for
is
one.
quite some rough defense. Okay.
I think we should retreat. That's
We have
like
some ships
really
left.
heavy going on.
So
here.
as you can see, what is currently happening is not only that we eat a lot of damage from a very, very strong harbor defense, she's actively calling for her fleets across all islands. So Beryl says like, okay, all fleets loaded with guns, come back, defend our main harbor. And that is not going well for us. Maybe we want to go back. Maybe we're going to go to our safe harbor, save what we can save. Oh, it's
yeah, we
not
still have
looking
some
good.
battle cruisers.
Is this our frigate? Are you sending the frigate in to die honorably to save the battleships?
No.
She has even
they
steam
are slowed
ships.
down.
Oh my god, this is not... Stefan, that's not going well. Yeah, talking about the enemy AI is too weak. So yeah, like the whole like ship fleet composition, having like tactically choosing which target you attack first in a harbor, maybe attack trade routes before that. There's a lot of like tactical depth to it. And that was just a quick look, teaser how naval combat looks like. And in the meantime, for the next time, we will try to improve our micromanagement skills and our clicks per minute. We were at least able to save some of our ships into the safe harbor, and we have some defenses on our own. Yeah. Anno has a lot of features. There's naval combat electricity, expeditions. There's too much stuff to talk about in such a short amount of time. I hope you guys liked that brief intro into only some of the late game features. And yeah, before we hand over to you guys to ask you some questions, if you have any, keep in mind, if you want to test that game out for yourself, we have a booth here. Just come over, play Anno for yourself, ask us questions, try the game out. We will also have an open beta for everyone starting April 12th. Everyone can just download the game, try the game on its own between 12th and 14th of April, and very, very briefly, shortly before launch, as we start April 16th, and we'll release the game. So I hope you guys liked that quick look into the endgame features of Anno 1800, and if you have any questions, I give the microphone to you guys. Stefan, you did well.
Oh, thank you. But
That was all right.
there was a
Thank you so
riot,
much
there
for
was fire.
Wait, there's no Steam card. See, it's driving through the streets.
Okay. Yeah, hi. I was wondering if you have labor unions. Speaking of rubber barons, do you have labor unions in the game?
We have not labor unions as like a main feature, but what can happen is that different kind of like, not only residential tiers go on strike, it can happen that only people working in the steel factory going on strike as an example. And you can build a trade union, and in the trade union you can equip various items. As an example, more modern working contracts and stuff like this. So there are elements of that in the game where you can basically represent that the society is becoming more progressive, but there's not like an actual labor union feature. But there are many ways of actually having an impact on working conditions and of the happiness of your people.
Just to give you an example, I can actually adjust the working conditions here and, well, make them rather unhappy, but effective, or the other way around. So let's make them very unhappy.
Okay.
This will gonna end well. But it goes that far that, as an example, if you change the working conditions just in the brick factory here, only people from the brick factory will go on strike. But it might be that they catch that this strike gets bigger and bigger, becomes a general strike, and they even like catch over to other people who join their strike, etc. So there are a lot of like certain dynamics to it.
I have one more question.
Shoot.
I don't know too much about the Anno series, but I know that you sort of focus on 1 century per
Yes.
game. Does this sort of run from 1800 to 1900, or further, or is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So generally, we usually pick one number, but this is just a number representative for roughly the time era. For Anno 1800, we say actually the progression through the residential tiers, if you so will, represents the time when going through the whole century, advancing of the civilization. So if you, so to speak, you can say the first residential tiers like early 19th century, then with working classes more like 1850, then engineers, electricity, 1880, 90, and then even like with the latest tiers and battle cruisers, we almost go in the 21st century. So the 1800, it's more like this is a framework for the 19th century.
Do you have gasoline-powered cars, or you don't go that far?
The only thing you see is steam cars.
Steam cars.
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as like research goes, do you sort of how do you do that? Like, obviously you can't go back in time. What do you sort of use for reference for each of these centuries?
So we have like a whole game writing and game content, narrative content team, and they actually spend a lot of time going through that and then checking out, okay, what makes sense during that era, when was this stuff developed. We are not historically accurate, but we try to inspire ourselves by that century. As an example, the battle cruiser you have seen in the stream is more like 1910 or something. There's some times think where we say like, okay, or same for electricity, fossil fuel based power plants based on oil. That was not really that much common during that time. There's some stuff where you say it makes more sense from a gameplay perspective, obviously. But in general, a lot of research with the art team, with the game writing team, etc.
Yeah, because that's my understanding is that initially oil actually was used for lighting houses.
Yes.
Before it was used for engines and cars and all that. Okay.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. Maybe someone else has a question, or?
We've got one more coming up.
Hi. Oh, down a bit. Thank you. Cheers. I played a lot of Anno 2070, and one of the features I really liked from that was the I had a kind of a player council where all the members would be able to vote on different on one of the factions to lead, and that would lead to endgame benefits. Dang. Is there any plans for any kind of networking features which would like unite players in a kind of the way they play the game, or anything similar based upon that at all?
So no, we haven't planned that for release of the game yet. Maybe in some future updates. We're not sure about this at this point, but this is not planned yet. Like, I know what you're talking about, but there won't be faction, there won't be online events for now. We're surely focusing on the single-player sandbox experience and the general multiplayer game mode, which will also come and launch.
Cool, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for taking us through that and showing us the game. It's looking fantastic. So yeah, please a round of applause for Stefan and Basti, please.
Thanks, guys.